Howdy, 8th grade. I would first like to note that I did not make the title for this lesson, the book did, and I hold a little bit of umbrage against it because complex in math normally means something very different than it does in English, and they're using the English word that just means complicated. So I should have just said simplifying complicated fractions, but they said complex. I'll write it anyways, but these aren't actually complex fractions. That's okay. What they call a complex fraction, so what your book calls a complex fraction, is a fraction divided by a fraction. I think metafraction would be better. There's a ton of options. I did not have to go with complex, but that's okay. So that is a fraction divided by a fraction. And what that looks like would be something along the lines of 2/3 divided by 5/8. And that would be a complex fraction. But we are in algebra, so of course we're going to do it with some real variables, because that's going to make our life a little bit more fun. So this is my example. And so we're going to start by doing this problem right here. So this is 2/3 over 5/8. And if I wanted to simplify this, I know that a fraction also means divide. So I could write this as 2/3 divided by 5/8. And if I have that, then I also know sorry about that, here we go. Then I also know that I can flip the second fraction and multiply. So I get 2/3 times 8/5, which is going to be 16 over 15. And that's what that would end up being. So all I'm doing is changing this right here, which means divide, into a division sign. And that lets me simplify this much easier. So let's try one with actual variables, because this is algebra. So if I have a over x divided by b over a plus x, this is going to be the same as a over x divided by b over a plus x, which is a over x times a plus x over b, which is going to give me a plus x over bx. Let me make sure we can see that. A plus x over bx. And that's going to be my final answer there. So I can't simplify that anymore. It's all the way factored, and so that's going to be my final answer to that fraction. Let's try one more and see what happens. Going to change the color again, and I have am over n divided by x over mn. So this one should be a little bit more interesting. Looks like something might eventually cancel out, which would be nice. So I can rewrite this as am over n divided by x over mn, which is the same as saying am over n times mn over x, which is m squared n over nx. And this does simplify. I have an n on bottom and on top, and an x on bottom and on top. So this just ends up becoming, I'm sorry, that should not have been an x. I miswrote that. This right here should be an a. The a here comes over and I have an a. So this is going to be m squared over x. So we'll try one more. That's going to need some factoring, and then we will be good to go. So let's look at it. I lied, there's two more I want to get to looking at my sheet here. So the first one is going to be 3x over 6x plus 12 divided by 9 over x plus 2. So that's going to be the same as 3x over 6x plus 12 divided by 9 over x plus 2, which is 3x over 6x plus 12 times x plus 2 over 9. And now we can finally start getting to where we want to be. So what I'm going to do is, before I do anything else, I want to try to factor this. So I'm going to have 3x times x plus 2 divided by 6x plus 12 times 9. And I know that I can simplify the 3 and the 9, so I'm going to change this to a 1 and the 9 here to a 3, and I get x times x plus 2 divided by 6x plus 12. And looking at the bottom, I can see that I can pull a 6 out of that, which is what I'm going to do. So I have x times x plus 2 over 6 times, and what's left? 6 times what is x is x, 6 times what is 12 is 2. So I multiply this out to get 6 times x is 6x, and 6 times 2 is 12. So those are equal to each other. Just factored that out real quick. And now I have this x plus 2 on top and on bottom, which means they cancel. And I get x divided by 6 as my final answer, which is a little bit crazy, but it works out for me, so I'm going to stick with it. And just like that, I'm going to go, oh, I forgot something. This 3 should still be here, times 3. So this should still be times 3. Times 3 is x over 18. There we go. There's a lot of numbers going on here. Got to make sure you're real careful, or you will probably miss something, like I've been trying to do this entire time. So we'll do one more, which is going to be 1 over x divided by 1 minus 1 over x. So this is a little more complicated, because what I'm going to have to do is to turn this bottom part into a fraction. Because right now it's not a fraction, it's a whole mess of things, and I don't really know what to do with that. So to turn this into a fraction, I got to make them have like denominators. So that's going to be divided by, and one is x over x minus 1 over x. Now that I have common denominators, I can do that subtraction. I get 1 over x divided by x minus 1 over x. And still going, that's going to be 1 over x divided by x minus 1 over x, which is 1 over x times x over x minus 1, which gives me 1 over x minus 1 after my x's cancel out. And this is going to be my final answer. Ta-da! So that's pretty much all we're going to be doing today. If you have any questions, please let me know. I will see you all in class tomorrow. Have a great day.